Lord, when I die, bring me back as a killer Dodge and let me take care of everyone who wronged me. We saw the Wraith, so you know what that means.
Schwarzenegger grow a baby in his belly, rock a rhinestone vest while whipping Justin to Kelly. Or maybe see a burlesque show with Nick Crow and take a boat with speed to hitting cruise control. J-Man, Big Paul in the beautiful June, gonna take you from the goob all the way to the room. Ran the games of Street Fighter, helped to blow off steam, just a sucker punch the odd life of Timothy Green. Sharknado, the birdemic, how we staying alive. They call it in the badass and he's on the line, cranking 88 minutes cause they cool as ice. Cause a bad Jim Varney looking kinda nice. Paul and June getting literal, Jason is getting laid. June is making sure all the monkey shots getting paid. They judge a bunch of movies while they're making the grade. Here's a real question for you, how did this get made?
Hello, people of Earth! And hello, people of Largo! We are live here at Largo at the Coronet, our LA home, one of the best theaters here in Los Angeles, and we are so excited to talk to you tonight about a movie that can be barely called a movie. The Wraith. Charlie Sheen, Sherilyn Fenn, Randy Quaid, Nick Cassavetes, and of course, Ron Howard's brother. It is a great film, and we have a lot to say about it. But first, please welcome my co-host, Jason Mantzoukas! Welcome!
What's up, jerks? How's everybody doing? I'm gonna be honest. You guys seem quiet for a 10 p.m. show. Not enough drunk people.
They'll all be coming in 5 minutes of the podcast. Oh shit! I thought it was 10:30.
Oh
it was
shit!
Fucking 10:30. Shit. So Jason, before the show started, I was saying to the audience that I remember the cover box of this movie when I worked at Blockbuster. Did you?
I had no concept of this movie.
Okay.
And I don't know how it escaped me because it's got like a bunch of my favorite stuff in it.
Yeah. Dodges.
Yeah, Sherilyn Fenn's boobs.
She got naked a lot.
She got naked a lot. It was wild. Chucky Sheen.
Yeah, Chucky Sheen. So good. Pre-Platoon.
I didn't know this movie. I mean, this is I don't know how it escaped me because I feel like it's straight into when I was a kid.
Yeah, the age that you would be.
Watching movies like this.
Yeah, you would want to watch a movie about.
It doesn't matter. Who cares? I'm gonna be honest. This is a giant who cares.
Well, you know what? We should. We'll talk about it all.
We can, or not.
Or yeah.
I don't care.
This show will just be all of us having brunch up here. It'll just be casual conversation.
We have Chardonnay.
Today is a How Did This Get Made All-Star show, which means that instead of having the wonderful, talented June here, we are going to have one of the amazing, hilarious guests of previous episodes. You remember her from a episode called The Phantom with Billy Zane. She has been on other episodes as well. She's a very funny stand-up comedian. She works for the James Corden Show. Please welcome Eliza Skinner.
Yeah.
Welcome back. You did The Phantom with us. And you also didn't you do that?
Safe House.
Yes, Safe House.
Oh,
yeah.
Classic
when
romance.
we all had a moment at the end.
Well, I'm sorry that we are dragging you through these movies.
No, man, I would have been watching them anyway.
Wraith. Did you know about it before
I
this?
didn't, and I'm shocked. I also, so many of my favorite things. When I was a little girl, I had, a huge little girl boner for Charlie Sheen. Because my good taste
how
goes
I
back
felt.
way far.
I had a great little boy boner for Clint Howard.
Yeah, exactly. Sure.
By the way, I think
But Clint is a blonde. I don't know.
Clint Howard in this movie, who's doing his best version of Eraserhead.
I'm like Clint
Everyone in this movie was in a different movie.
Clint Howard is my favorite part of this movie.
Before we bring out our special guest, I'll say the
Make him wait.
The Clint Howard, though, is always like a very quick scene in every movie. So my thought is we should make him longer in these movies because he does deliver consistently. Like I feel like this is the longest Clint Howard performance I've ever seen.
Want there to be a Clint Howard, Brian Doyle Murray movie.
By the way, how about they just remake The Trip, that Steve Coogan movie?
Yeah.
Like just have them in a car.
Yep.
Going through the countryside.
Perfect.
I would love to see that.
I feel
Let's
like
do
Clint
it.
Howard went through the script and just put exclamation points at the end of every one of his lines. And was like, now it's a movie.
You lose the race, you lose your car!
Okay, the first one, the Dragonfire Crossing wins. You lose the race, you lose your car.
By the way,
What is it? It's a wraith! You know?
Him putting exclamation points there, I would argue, is probably more than any of the other actors did in this. That simple act.
Yep.
We have a very special guest tonight. This guy, you know him from the CISO show, Bajillion Dollar Properties, and the brand new show in which he stars, Shrink. Please welcome Tim Baltz.
Baltz! Whoop! Whoop, 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 whoop.
Tim, welcome to the show. Very excited to have you.
So excited to be here to talk about this pile of shit movie.
Well, let me ask you the same question. Did you know anything about the Wraith before it was assigned to you?
I had the older brother of one of my friends had the VHS, and he was like, "Don't watch it, it sucks." So we never watched it.
That kid is a fucking idiot. Because I'm going to go on record as saying this movie was fucking awesome. I was heavy into this movie. I was into it.
This movie to me it's like an art gallery more than a movie. It's like it's images.
It's an art gallery?
Sound and movement.
Not an art gallery, like there's just something going on. Like it doesn't I don't feel like it works as a movie. I'd be like, oh, that's a cool image. That's an interesting idea. That's an interesting character. That's a cool costume. But they all feel like a million other people. Like it was like, oh yeah, I went to an art gallery. Here's 10 different paintings. I like all of them, but there's no thing that like collects them together besides that they're all in one place.
Yeah, people are making real strong choices, though. I feel like so all these different actors in this were like, I'm gonna fix it. I got this. And just like did something super weird.
Well, the movie starts off, and this is where I thought it was an alien movie. I thought right out of it, because these little orbs, kind of similar to Solar Babies, another movie that we did here on the show, are racing down the highways, paying attention to the roads, not just flying across the country, curving with the roads, and 4 of them, which is another odd thing. 4 of these balls of light converge to create a Dodge car.
That's how they make them.
I mean, that makes sense. But it's interesting, too, because it's like...
But you know what? Dodge used to be made by American workers.
Oh, Jason, do not
It was
get
always
on
balls of
your
light.
horse.
Outsourced to the heavens, where they were assembled by wraiths. You know what? I don't want these wraiths coming in. Why don't we build a wall?
Jason, come on now. But there is something weird about this. Like, I mean, not that this is the thing I'm going to hang my hat on about. It doesn't make sense, but...
It is a nice hat, though.
Thank you. It's from Jimmy Durante.
Put a bra on her.
Decidedly an alien-esque opening. Like, there's nothing here. Like, for the longest time, I'm like, this is an alien movie.
I thought that as well.
Yeah, where are they coming from? Obviously some kind of foreign place, and then they come together to make this Dodge.
Yeah. Who doesn't, to me, didn't seem like, I mean, well, I guess they reveal that there's a driver to it who's all,
I had a lot of confusion in this movie that I loved. And a lot of it centered around, I didn't understand why Charlie Sheen had to be in the getup as the driver of the car.
Wait, Charlie Sheen was the driver of the car? I'm kidding.
Well, this is the interesting thing. I mean, so basically, just because I think to talk about this movie, we have to just kind of get the plot out. So, Charlie Sheen was a guy who looked similar to Charlie Sheen, who was badly murdered, and now has come back as a Wraith who drives a kick-ass car and is murdering all the people that were involved in his death.
Yeah.
Also a motorbike.
But he also
is a high school student who's riding like a motorcycle and is reconnecting with the girlfriend that he had just finished fucking when he was murdered.
And the brother that he pretends to not know.
Yes, but he's
dislike.
But Charlie Sheen in the flashbacks does not play that character.
No.
So that character is another actor. He is like an angel of death.
Well, but
like a revenge.
Doesn't he at the end say like, "This is the closest I could get"?
Yes. He basically does.
Well, here's an interesting thing about the movie.
Oh.
Charlie Sheen booked Platoon right when this movie started production. So he couldn't play the other version of himself. What? He was supposed to play both parts. But if that's true, then it makes this movie make zero sense. Because
immediately upon arrival, everybody would be like, "Oh my God, it's you!"
Yeah.
Well, and also wasn't Johnny Depp up for it and like there because he was dating Sherilyn Fenn at the time?
Johnny Depp was dating Sherilyn Fenn, but I didn't hear anything that he was up for it as much. He was up for one of the gang members.
Oh, okay.
Augie.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
he was not
awesome.
Yeah, so he was just having sex with Sherilyn Fenn in a hotel. One of the facts I read was like he lived with the crew in the crew motel, which sounds like I don't know why it was a distinction. Like, you know, like as if like Nick Cassavetes was like, I live in the fancy hotel here. But if Charlie Sheen was supposed to play both parts, then I guess maybe it would be creepy when he came into town like, we killed him.
Well, what was weird is like
give him frosted tips and nobody in an 80s movie would know.
When he's in the hot tub with Sherilyn Fenn, or the hot spring or whatever it is, he has the scars on his back of the murder that was done to him. She straight up doesn't notice.
Well, I was worried about that because
you were worried about it?
I was worried about it.
What were you worried about, Tim?
I was worried about it because I thought like, oh, well, everyone's gonna know who this guy is, right? And the element of surprise is gone, and then these guys are gonna think like, oh, that's the guy that we brutally murdered in front of his ex-girlfriend.
Right. Who doesn't remember it? Conveniently doesn't remember it.
Well, I don't think it's a spoiler, but they do put a blanket over her head right away.
Okay.
Yeah. And punch her in the head.
They punch her in the head.
They repeatedly show them punching Sherilyn Fenn in the head.
But why?
It's crazy.
And I mean, there's so many different suspects in town it could have been.
Oh, yeah. Especially the first time they're at the creek and Charlie Sheen is there and he's like staring at her and Cassavetes is there. He's the bad guy. They're staring and they're like, oh, don't get caught by this bad guy. And you're like, well, it can't be that obvious. He's not the villain, right? Nope. Flashback to the brutal murder where he is the killer. Immediately. Yep. So all of a sudden you're like, oh, all right. Well, we know where this is headed.
Well, and it's also so bizarre because they kill her boyfriend and then it seems like immediately he's into this like kidnapping dating that they do. They're not dating.
I can't
he just
figure
kidnaps her every time.
Every day after work.
That's
like every day after work, I'm kidnapping you.
That's the part of the movie that's like a bad fairy tale.
The whole Nick Cassavetes and his crew felt like a bad Grease sequel to me. Like what if Danny Zuko went evil?
Well, hung out with punks.
They were a weird mix of like punks. Like some of them look like high school like ska band members, and then others look like future Goldman Sachs execs.
I'll be honest. I know we've only scratched the surface of the actual plot of this movie still, but for me, the whole movie was Gutter Boy.
Gutter Boy and Skank.
Skank, I could have cared or not, but Gutter Boy really there was a
Skater, I mean, sorry.
Yeah, there was like a real like heart there, you know? I was like, what's gonna happen to Gutter Boy? And I think we all know.
The most compelling love story to me was Gutter Boy and Skank.
That is true, yeah.
lot of duck butter out at the lake today, Pac.
Cliff City, here I come.
See that guy over there? The one with Billy Hankins?
What about him? Looks like a dork to me.
A lot of dorks going around these days, Skank. Whole town seething with them, crawling out of the woodwork.
Shut up.
Okay.
Drives that motorbike over there. You see him or Billy around Carrie? I want to know about it.
Aw, shit, Pac. I'd rather be working on the cars than... Hey, we'll remind the cog stacker. Use their influence, hey, guy?
We use influence.
Get rid of that zombie piss you're drinking before it turns you into a mushroom.
No problem.
Zombie piss.
Yeah,
Blue
right.
City dorks. Is he drinking gasoline?
Yeah.
He's using hydraulic acid in one scene because it's a jug that says hydraulic acid.
Yeah, and he sprays a can of like WD-40 into his nose at one point.
That's
He does
fucking
offer
straight
it
up
around
Mad
usually.
Max.
So.
Well, it's interesting that you bring up. Again, I don't know if I know exactly the difference between them, but Gutter Boy, I think, is doing an impression of James Dean. Our resident video expert, Avril Halley, put this together here. This is basically Gutter Boy. Let's see here. We got it right here. This is A Rebel Without a Cause and Gutter Boy, I believe. Here we go. So take a look at the exact same line.
I got the bullet! I got the bullet!
I'm telling you, strong choices.
He also makes a lot of just noises. He's like doing
We are introduced to this gang of, and I described them as Mad Max rejected villains. It was sort of like, can you just do the stand-in for the camera test? And then we're going to use real actors and things. So we're introduced to them as they stop this car on the road, which to me, this movie was made in 1986. It wasn't even that cool of a car that they stop. It kind of just seems like a normal, it just seems like a fine car. It doesn't seem fast, it doesn't seem cool. It's a fine car. And
You've got a fine car. Take me to plan.
But then, they basically, the whole thing with this gang, which has nothing to do with the plot, really, this gang races people for their car. The pink slips, that's the grease element, I guess, of it. And then they get to keep the car. But the first scene, they're racing for shitty.
I kept getting confused between that first scene, thinking those people were important.
Yes.
And thinking then that they were Sherilyn Fenn and the murdered guy. And I was like, wait, no, it's not them. And I got super confused.
No,
but it makes no sense that,
Again, I love this movie.
Why not just start off with the Charlie Sheen thing, and Charlie Sheen's murder, or the fake Charlie Sheen's murder, is just he's having sex with his underwear on, all cool dudes do. Just
What's
slip
that
out your
about?
peen out of that little slot in your undies and keep your undies on.
Wait,
Leave
why
your
are people
buttons
laughing?
so
Is that not the thing to do? Is that?
I always keep my undies on when I'm going to the
For-
fun zone.
Me too.
For a movie that has a lot of nudity in it, for him to keep on his underpants was so odd, and it made me feel uncomfortable.
Did you get a close look at him?
The guy?
I went back
Okay.
to show my girlfriend. I was like, we're waiting for the Uber to come here, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna show you. I'm gonna show you one scene, and it's gonna be the first flashback to the brutal murder scene. And of course, I'm giggling at it, and she's looking at me like, what's wrong with you? What show am I about to go see?
Does this story end with you getting dumped on the way to this show?
Maybe after this show. And I'm looking at the underwear again. I'm like, they're weirdly silk, translucent, super tight, smaller than they should be, but not a thong.
It was actually the same underwear that Sofia Coppola used for the beginning of Lost in Translation. Just one thing also, just to point out, we talked about Charlie Sheen not being available due to platoon shooting. They also not only did they not use him as the flashback Charlie Sheen, they also used him throughout the movie. If you see here, we're playing a picture. Yes. One picture is of Charlie Sheen and one is not. It's the same scene when they're both in the hot springs. One is Charlie Sheen, one is not Charlie Sheen.
Wow.
Her hair is totally different too. That's what I noticed about this one. That I was like, why did they reshoot that? Why did they have to?
So yeah, Charlie Sheen not available for a lot of this movie, and really only I would argue probably is only in like
very
3
little.
or 4 scenes, right?
Well, the majority of it, he's wearing the helmeted getup.
Yeah.
Wait, he's wearing the helmeted getup?
Yeah.
Can I tell you the
by
first?
By the way, here's the underwear. We do have a picture of the underwear. Yeah, there.
Yes,
you go.
look at that.
Yeah.
Is that
American Apparel 2008?
That could be a jock strap.
You think?
Oh yeah.
That could just be straps.
Because what happens to his crack?
But
why can I see the crack?
It's a weird phantom crack.
I can see the crack.
But
So
you
that
can't
makes
see
me feel
all
like
of it.
I'm looking at just butt.
I feel like
don't
I
know.
feel like it's being sucked in by his butt because his dick is breathing and it's sucking the underwear through his butt. Right? What?
The old dick breath. Sure.
His dick is breathing?
You know, when you have sex, your dick breathes and then sucks in through your butt.
Yeah,
So you're saying,
So it's got
saying
you
the dick
poke it through the
breathes
hole.
in and whatever's against the asshole gets sucked.
Yeah.
So it's like when you open a door in one room and a door across the room gets closed.
That's exactly what's going on.
Wait, that would be the dick exhaling and pushing the fabric forward and then pulling the other fabric into the butt.
I mean, I guess
This is way too sexy.
I guess it is. I guess it is underwear, but it looks almost like a jockstrap weird.
And am I saying that her underwear is also in an odd position too? Or is that about right? Is that her butt? I mean, she's kind of.
I can't figure out what
I don't know
I'm
what's
looking
happening.
at with her.
Because she looks like she has like the front part of her underwear on her.
I feel like that,
on her hip.
that triangle is in the wrong place.
These people do not know how
Cheryl
to have sex.
Yeah. Or wear underwear. She just put it on wrong.
This is that's a disturbing sequence. But yeah, so there's a lot going on in this movie. So
there's a lot of drag racing.
With the rules are always lose the race, lose your car.
Yes.
Which why would anyone ever agree to that? Win the race, win.
They're pressured into it.
I don't know. I feel like drive away.
Also,
you're in a car.
In a movie where you're trying to show like these are the toughest guys you'll ever meet, I don't think it's cool when the guy puts on a helmet. Like Nick Cassavetes, like, put on my helmet.
Everybody puts on helmets to drag race. Nobody puts on a helmet to ride a motorcycle.
They do jumps. Charlie Sheen does a jump with Sherilyn Finn in that motorcycle over a bunch of trash. Neither one of them are wearing a helmet.
No, it's
By
crazy.
the way, I feel like in that sequence, the trash is causing more of the problem than anything else going on there. It almost looks like they're aiming for trash. Everybody in that chase is like, hit the trash! Like they literally blow through so much trash in there. They're jumping trash, they're hitting trash, which is just basically just a way to say that they have no money. Like, we'll line up some more garbage bags here. But yeah, here we go. Trash. Trash is flying through the window. Oh, more trash. It's as if someone is throwing a garbage bag full of cans.
They don't have to drive into the trash.
No.
There's plenty of room.
There is so much room on the other side. Like Skank is driving right into the trash.
But they spent all their money on exploding cars.
True.
Yeah, and that the Dodge car that he has, this is another thing. When finally Charlie Sheen is racing, his car does the thing where it disappears, or I guess it just pulls in front, and everyone crashes through it. And then it disappears, and then it comes back stronger.
Sometimes.
And also, like the weird.
Sometimes it sucks your eyeballs out.
The mechanical elements of his body like disappear from the crash sites.
But why was he mechanical to begin with? He wasn't a man whose body was broken. It's not like RoboCop. He was like kind of beaten and shoved into a
He's
trunk.
a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so why would a ghost need like body casts?
I feel like it was just like it was part of his outfit. So the film was like, hey, remember it's that guy, like trying to draw a line between them.
But then they should have broken his legs, and also
they should have.
Like, I mean, right? Because
I agree, Paul. They should have broken his legs.
But it's like it seems iconic. Like he's wearing leg braces. But
I
we have
kept
not been
expecting
shown
that
anything.
to get explained.
Yeah.
Like, I kept expecting at some point I'm going to understand why he needs the exoskeleton, why. And that doesn't happen. Also, I loved the movie. It never got explained.
Yeah, it seems like something that Billy the chatty nerd would explain in one of his exposition piles.
Billy the chatty nerd, who is the brother of faux Charlie Sheen. That guy knows how to dump exposition like nobody's business.
Just a hot pile of exposition every time he's in a scene.
I've never seen, that guy was like, he's like, hey, my name is Billy. Anyway, my brother was killed. He used to date that girl over there. I work at the hamburger shop. No big deal. But that guy is bad news. He's a real crazy guy. Don't look over there. And they drive that car. Fuel in the town costs $1.99. The year is 1986. We all live in track houses. Anyway, the last report card I got was this. It's like, Jesus.
And during all of that, his dead brother back from the grave was like, you suck. Like, he just was like really nasty to him at
first. His brother comes back from the grave and spends no time with him.
Yeah.
His brother spends all of his time, his ghost brother, just trying to get back in Sherilyn Fenn's pants. Like, I would be super bummed. And then he's like, I'm out of here, bro. And then the kid is heartbroken. He's like, wait. He can't believe it was his dead brother.
My favorite line in the movie is, Jake. Jamie!
Hey, Jake, who are you? Jake! Jamie!
My favorite thing about that was that Charlie Sheen,
signed on to make this movie.
He knew where his money was. Platoon is like, guys, can't do this movie anymore. Sorry, but he doesn't even tell him in a good way. He's just sort of like, he tells Sharon Finn, he's like, yeah, I came back and I come back for you and whatever. And he's basically the only way that he tells his brother is like, this kid happens to call him bro. Like, hey bro. He's like, you already said it. And then it takes him about 3 minutes to put that together. He's like, I already said it. What does it mean? Jake. Oh, brother. Jamie.
Yeah, and also I love the goodbye is like, hey, I'm gonna leave, but you can have this murder weapon.
Yeah.
I've murdered everyone with it.
Yes. Blame this all on you.
For sure. He's going to jail now. That's that for Billy.
Okay,
it's a terrible thing to do.
So he came back to life, A, for revenge, B, to fuck his hot ex-girlfriend, right, who he was brutally murdered in front of, and C, to frame his brother for all these revenge murders.
Yes.
I also love that she had her boyfriend murdered in front of her, but she's like, doing okay, working at a burger shop, no biggie.
And the cops never asked her about it.
No.
No.
And by the way, she gets over that pretty quick, besides being date kidnapped. When Charlie Sheen pulls up on the motorcycle half naked, and she's almost not wearing any clothes either. They're both she's like, I'll show you where it is. Let me jump on your back of your motorcycle. It feels to me like Charlie Sheen was killed 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like years have passed here, right? Or maybe, again, that would be a part of exposition.
He does look pretty different, so maybe.
I couldn't figure out how old everybody was supposed to be. I felt like it had the hallmarks of a high school movie, but nobody was in school. At a certain point, I was like, do you think this takes place during the summer? Just between school years? I don't know.
Well, because they all are going to that quarry party.
Yep.
So they're not in school.
That seems summer. And she wears a swimsuit for a minute or two until she takes it off. It must have been summer. Or they graduated and they're all in their 20s and
that's what I
should have been doing something better.
I don't know if they're supposed to be in their 20s and kind of adults or not, because they're all acting like kids, except
the 40-year-old who's
Nick
kidnapping.
Yes. An old guy who's running a chop shop out of a fucking barn out in the. I couldn't make heads or tails out of it. I loved this movie.
Have we discussed who Nick Cassavetes is?
Yeah, sure.
He directed The Notebook.
Sure.
But this is where he started. John Cassavetes' son.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
what are you doing here?
Brother.
What is this?
It is an odd movie because I feel like, again, everyone was sold a different bill of goods for this because they all came, I feel like they're all doing something, but no one, like Woody Allen, I think, is notorious for giving only
Was Woody Allen in this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was Skank.
He's the guy in the black costume.
Woody Allen played Gutter Boy. And introducing as Gutter Boy, Woody Allen.
But like Woody Allen's like the whole thing is like he gives you only the part of the script that's necessary for your character. Like I feel like that's what everyone did here. It's like because Nick Cassavetes like there's something bizarre. Like there's something so bizarre with this character because he makes an agreement with a non-talking car. When they do catch the Dodge, he's like, "Let's race." The door never opens. You know, like there was a part of me that was like, is there even a driver in it? Is the car an alien?
thought that as well.
I thought he was the car.
I thought he was I did as well.
Okay, I said it first.
I'm just agreeing with you.
And like they make an agreement with a car that's not talking, and not even talking like revving engine talking. It's like, we're gonna race. All right, get over here. Like the car goes like, like I would have taken that.
Why does and this there might be a good reason that I just missed. Why does the car open its hood for Clint Howard to put something in it? What was that about?
Because they wouldn't race otherwise, but it's not a good enough reason.
I think they were like, we gotta check your engine, man, to make sure that you were not like putting like illegal stuff in there.
No, he wanted to put a thing in there, a radio-controlled thing, so that he couldn't disappear. So like when you try to disappear, we can find you, so you can't disappear after that. Yeah, right?
Yes, but also what?
Thank you, yeah. Right? Yeah. So he's like, open the hood, and then the back opened instead, and Clint Howard is like, whoa, 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 whoa. And he goes and looks, and it's, I don't know if it was just so beautiful.
No, it was like
or unexpected.
He basically jizzed his pants.
Yeah, he really did. He was like,
when he saw that motor.
Again, in a different movie.
But it was also like lighting up. It was like it was not like it was a extraterrestrial motor.
Yes. That's what they made it look like with the graphic.
Yeah. I don't know. I wanted it to be like pulsing and like have like limbs and tentacles and stuff. It's just like light up. You can
the faces of the dead.
Yes, yes, that would have been so good.
Also, now by today's standards, it just looks like a Prius engine.
Yeah.
You know, they opened it up and I was like, yeah, that looks pretty standard.
Yeah, it didn't look anything like super abnormal. It just it kind of glowed a little bit.
Cassavetes, he's got some of the best lines in the movie.
Yeah,
I think. And to your point that he's just doing like his own thing, someone else. He's got his own director, which, by the way, is Mike Marvin, which is a great name for two kids in a trench coat trying to direct a Hollywood movie. It opened up, and the first thing that caught my eye was I'm just sitting there and I'm eating some snacks, and it says a Mike Marvin film, and I'm like, what? Mike Marvin? And then the director of photography is Reed Smoot. So that means someone on set, like a PA or like the like line unit director or something like that is like Mike Marvin, Reed Smoot, Charlie Sheen. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Well, just to give you an idea of what Mike Marvin is up to. Mike Marvin wrote Hot Dog the movie, Madame Savant, which is a Playboy movie, and another movie called Sunstorm, which is just another movie where it's like where hot women just get naked in it. He directed also.
Wait, it's called Sun what?
He directed Hamburger the motion picture, and he wrote Hot Dog the movie. Just FYI, I just want to go back to that.
And he's in development right now on Burrito the movie.
And then the odd one out of the mix, besides like movies like Wishman, The Dragon's Gate, Arranged Marriage, Getting Away, and Sunstorm, is Six Pack, the Kenny Rogers movie, right? Remember that, like where like. Oh, there's a Kenny Rogers movie where like it's like Bad News Bears, but for NASCAR. Yeah. So it's like Kenny Rogers has like a group of kids like working on his car.
Kid Pit Crew?
Yeah, Kid Pit Crew. That's all I remember. I was like, cool. As a kid. When my dad brought it home and made me watch it. Like when you have no choice.
Made you watch it?
Yeah, because
you sit here and you watch this.
You know, like, or at least like when I was a kid, like your parents would go to the video store and you'd have no choice in what they would bring home. And like, You'd like this. Here, enjoy it. Like, you know, I feel like I watched, like they were like, it's a kid movie, watch it. I watched that. I watched one with John Ritter, and he was like a superhero, like Condor Man or whatever it was. You ever see that?
No.
Oh, man.
These are both amazing sounds. We should do a series that is just the movies of your childhood.
So many of them. I mean, I finally found the one that I was obsessed with, but all right. I forgot the name of it again. So it won't have a
Back
good
to
payoff.
zero.
Yeah, I would have told you, but I forgot the name of it.
Star Wars? Was it called Star Wars?
Yes, that was it. It was yeah. I think it was Star Wars. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. That's the one, space one, right? Yeah. With a Chewbacca?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely Star Wars.
Starring Chewbacca?
Which is the one with Chewbacca in it?
It's Star Wars.
Is that all of them?
Yeah, Star Wars.
All of what?
Is it like, because I know, I think it's Star Wars. I think it's Wait.
Are you talking about Chewbacca?
Is Fred McMurray in it?
Is Fred McMurray in it?
In Star Wars?
From My Three Sons?
I get Star Wars and The Apartment confused. Chewbacca is like working and he has a good apartment or something. I don't know.
It seems fun, but yeah.
No, you're confusing the two.
I know that Chewbacca loves Shirley MacLaine.
Yeah, because in Star Wars, Chewbacca doesn't have an apartment.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's the
all right,
difference.
all right,
Yeah.
So I think actually Star Wars is the movie where Chewbacca is doing his job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And The Apartment is when Chewbacca is at home.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a home-based Chewbacca movie and a work-based Chewbacca movie.
I would love one of the new Star Wars spin-offs to be a remake of The Apartment. Rogue One, the Han Solo spin-off, The Apartment. Uncle Chic.
I would like one of the movies to just be a workplace comedy starring Chewbacca.
No subtitles. To your point about Nick Cassavetes, too, like that scene where he cuts his own hand.
Oh my God!
Says,
Yeah.
We're blood lovers.
We're blood lovers.
That is unhealthy.
And yet,
drinks
sounds
his
like
own
it sounds like a
blood.
movie that you guys would discuss on this.
Oh, 100%.
This week we're watching Blood Lovers.
By the way, I would 100% watch a movie called Blood Lovers, but he wipes his blood on her mouth.
But he also does blood brothers in a weird way because he cuts his hand and then he licks it and then gives it to her.
And everybody knows you're supposed to do it in the exact opposite order. Where are you going with this?
Because he cut her hand too, right?
The idea of like blood brothers is like that you're supposed to like you cut your finger, I cut my finger, and then we mix it together, right?
Yeah.
But like he just cuts himself and then he drinks his own blood.
Yeah.
And then he wipes it on like he's not getting any blood out of this deal.
And
like,
she pulls back, which just means a smudge on her
Yes.
face. So it's not. There's nothing satisfying. He doesn't stick his thumb in her mouth or anything weird like that.
And by the way, a thumb in the mouth in this movie would have fit perfectly. Like that is a good move for this movie.
The top of this very scene, he ruins her crying scene, her big crying moment, because it takes him 10 full seconds to take off that fucking glove.
You're right.
I timed it. It takes 10 seconds, and he's like, He goes finger by finger twice around, and then finally has to yank it off. 10 seconds. And she's trying to cry and have an emotional moment, and the camera has to stay on him because he's got his hand right next to his face.
I noticed. You know what? It's funny that you mentioned that because I only paid attention to the gloves. I didn't even know she had a crying scene. I was like, does he take off the gloves when he gets in the car? I thought that's what you
It's
put the
great
gloves
glove
on
work.
driving. Like, but I guess
It's her best moment in the movie. She turns to the camera, it's in profile, then she turns to the camera and she's got actual emotion and actual tears, and you're like, oh, maybe the movie's gonna turn. Then it cuts to him. Nope, all right, here we go, we're back. Also, I think each flashback they show is slightly different. I think they use different takes, because in the last one...
it's a Rashomon, but they didn't tell the audience. unreliable narrator.
And the last narrator's like, yeah, they put a blanket over her head right away.
What was really weird is that whenever we see the flashbacks of the murder or any of these things, it's because Charlie Sheen is looking into the eyes of either Nick Cassavetes or Sherilyn Fenn, and he sees this flashback of himself being murdered. Why? He was there. He doesn't need to see a flashback because he was there when it happened. Right?
Right, and he seemingly is only coming back to kill them.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh, I'm reincarnated. Oh, wait. He's not piecing anything
No,
together.
there's no mystery for him.
Yeah, his plan is to simply kill them all in the most obtuse way. Just go fucking run them over, like, or when you go in with your fucking space shotgun, shoot them.
Yeah.
Don't blow up their shop. And he's shooting everything but them. And then Nick Cassavetes he says, hey man, put down that kidney buster.
That was.
Which I never have heard as a term for a gun.
I feel like I'm gonna hate myself for saying this right now, but I do think that was the weirdest scene in the movie.
Yeah, just
where he's like shooting everything, and Nick Cassavetes sitting there the whole time, like, oh man.
Nick Cassavetes
what are you doing?
is nonplussed by
does not care.
all of the Wraith's activities.
Yeah.
He's just like,
it's like this guy. Ugh.
just like, well, I'm not impressed. I'm hanging out in my puka shell necklace, my leather jacket, and I'm not impressed, bro.
Skank's jumping into the ceiling like a cat.
I mean, like, this is some crazy. You'd be impressed by this.
A man in leg braces, a space gun, who the doors open and he poses for a very long time before he does anything.
Take it in.
And he's in everyone's checking him out. I forgot about that puka shell.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot, is that an Italian horn?
And this gun looks pretty futuristic.
Poor gutter boy.
And he spends a lot of time shooting the gun, and nobody ever gets shot.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that was a weird. I rewound that because that was weird.
I'm gonna just play it a little bit here.
Buddy, I'd put that kidney buster down if I was you. This place is filled with ether and acetylene. Dig?
They all see Charlie Sheen's face.
We have a flashback.
Bloody body going in a trunk. And the car's being pushed off the road slowly. It's a slow flashback. Oh, and then they shoot a shotgun. They blow up the car.
No! Hey! I don't know what your problem is, guy, but... Hey!
Just pause for a second. Who's the guy in the green visor? This is a character I do not remember. Because it's not Augie, is it?
No, Augie dies early.
Augie's already dead here. Who is that guy?
It's not Skank, it's not Minty?
Oh, it must be Minty.
But Minty's usually in the varsity jacket, right?
Oh,
he's got the state varsity jacket.
That's varsity jacket guy. Minty.
But then he doesn't have it on here, and that green visor threw me off, too.
That really confused me.
I don't understand why Charlie Sheen is in all this gear and getup if he could just be Charlie Sheen.
Is this because they couldn't have Charlie Sheen?
Well, I mean, we saw at the end. Yeah, that's definitely why. But story-wise, we saw at the end how much effort it takes for him to take it off.
Oh yeah.
Remember when he was like, "Yeah, whoa,
I won't do that again.
I'm not gonna do that again."
I won't be doing that again.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
well,
I
you
think
seemingly are doing it all the time because you're appearing in 2 different locations throughout the entire movie.
Yeah,
What
it
blew
doesn't
my
make
mind?
a lot of sense.
What blew my mind the most about this, especially later in the movie, when he finally drives his supercar, his Super Dodge, into the warehouse and blows the whole thing up, I'm like, you didn't have to kill them one by one. You could have just killed them all to begin with.
And he's already been to the barn and just shot it up.
Right there.
And
So he comes back later and just drives into it, which causes the barn to explode to a level that is basically equivalent of the mother of all bombs.
And
that explosion, I was like, whoa! That is significant.
pacing it out would make sense if he was terrifying them, like the name kind of indicates, being a wraith. If he was just, they were getting more and more terrified each time, but they weren't, except Clint Howard. That was the movie Clint Howard was in.
Well, but also, wouldn't you argue, like, wouldn't it be cool if, like, the first person he killed was a simple one, like a race one, and the car drove into the car and it blew up, you know? And then the second one, it was a shotgun murder. Like, they just heightened and...
So like Final Destination?
Yeah, like they had some sort of build, but no, it's just all car related.
Or the other
explosions.
thing would be if the Charlie Sheen in the flashbacks, the Jamie character, had been murdered via car.
Yes,
but he's not. It's not like he gets killed in a drag race. He gets killed like in his briefs in a cabin.
We still don't know if they're briefs.
Or whatever. In like the bottom of a lady's bathing suit. I'm honestly not sure what he's wearing, but he gets killed unceremoniously, like in a cabin.
Yeah.
And then disposed of in a car.
But all of the revenge murders take place via car.
So he should be like killing them all while they're fucking. I mean, that would be the right.
Ooh, Nick Cassavetes' weird sex scene with that blonde waitress was very not cool.
And
even Randy Quaid gives that actress a look like, I'm so sorry, honey.
Yeah.
By the way, we haven't even mentioned Randy Quaid yet. Who gives a stellar performance in this movie.
Maximum Quaid.
Oh, yeah. Why put up a... What was it? Why put up a barrier? We're not even there. When they're like, should we block off the roads at the end? And he's like, can't block something that's not there.
Yeah.
I will just play. This is when Randy Quaid first discovers, again, another red herring in this movie. The first person who's murdered reappears unscathed.
Yeah, they all do. All the people who are murdered are not burned by the accident, are not harmed by the accident. Their eyes are gone.
Just the first one.
Oh,
the first one had their eyes. They say sucked, but it looks like burned out. And then they describe the body as they're like, oh, it looks like he just got out of a hot tub or something.
Yeah, but
which is not what he looks like.
Like, does the Wraith need to feed on their essence or something?
That would have been so much better.
Wait a second. Oh, go ahead.
I have a theory that all of these things were explained in scenes that were cut where Billy is just hot loading exposition.
He's just like making burgers. Like, well, you know, a Wraith needs eyeballs.
Yeah.
Well, you all know when you get killed and the car blows up, you come back as an evil car and you can go kill everybody. But the part of that price is that you got to make sure that everyone gets killed one by one. The evil guy, the worst.
Oh yeah, you can change your face, but not your back scars.
I think I figured it out. To a point that doesn't make sense, but I'm still going to explain it. I think each person he kills, he's taking a part of their essence. First person, he's taking their eyes. The second person, he's taking one of their legs. That's why the pieces of the things disappear, because he's like getting a part of them. But that doesn't make any sense because you see him early and he's got his whole body.
You know, Paul, I think that's a stretch. I don't think they thought it out.
I wonder if
They thought it out.
my favorite
Wouldn't it
Randy
be cool if
Quaid.
his eyes were missing? Yeah, cool. All right, we'll figure it out later. I gotta write The Masseuse, the new movie I'm writing for Playboy.
My favorite Randy Quaid moment was the scene where he's in his sheriff's office,
Yes,
whatever,
he's the sheriff.
making paper dolls as he talks to everybody. And I feel like, again, such a strong choice for no reason unless at one point we revealed that in an original cut, we revealed that the paper dolls were all the people with like eyes burned out, leg off, like whatever.
Yeah.
But we didn't do that.
No, it's just all headless.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Was that what it was?
Yeah,
he
cuts
cut
off
the head.
their heads.
He cut the head off.
Well, we're probably missing a scene where Billy teaches Randy Quaid how to cut off the eyes from little things like that. And then they got in the edit and they were like, this movie's all about Billy. We got to drop all these scenes.
Nobody cares about Billy.
A little taste of Randy Quaid. These kids.
Oh, that's ugly. God.
Kid ought to be dog meat.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, Loomis. This kid smashed down a canyon through fire and busting glass.
Must have been 1,000 degrees in that car.
Nope.
At least.
Where's his eyes?
Sent cats climbing up my spine when I saw him hauling this carpet out of that canyon. Clean, as if he'd come out of a hot tub.
No, the way he says it,
Hot
a
tub.
hot tub. It's not like a hot tub. It's like he's saying
a
like,
hot
oh, he took
tub.
like a bath. Like the way I'm hearing him say is like a hot tub, not like a hot tub. Like, you know, so it's like, yeah.
Either way, he does not look like that.
No.
He looks like he lives in a refrigerator and rats eat his eyes.
Like that makes me think that deputy's up to no good. Spend a lot of time in hot tubs.
I always love a movie like this where they have to create like cool guy language. Like they don't like, they're like, yeah, we're gonna do this. And this is how bad guys talk. The other guy, I just realized in watching this, it's like a Will Forte SNL character. The other guy is like, man, like, you know, there's an energy to it. I just like when they said Queef City. It's Queef City. I don't understand why it would be Queef City down by the lake. I don't know what, like, I don't know
well,
what's
I mean,
going on.
How did the
if you're doing
ladies-
a lot of...
How did they get so much air up
Yeah,
there?
if you're sitting up... No,
Maybe that's why
I
all
don't
their
know.
underwear is being sucked through their assholes.
This movie also, like, did they have different rules back then about paying for songs to be in movies? Because this had, like, legit
Whoa.
songs in it.
It does have like
This
one
had
of the
like
best
Motley
soundtracks.
Crue and
Yeah.
Ozzy, and this
And Billy
soundtrack
Idol?
was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's insane. It has a ton of. Their soundtrack is amazing, but I feel like this is like a time when they're like, just get a killer soundtrack, get Mike Marvin, and
Get me Reed Smoot. Kathy, get me Reed Smoot on the line.
this movie. I mean, but again, I don't understand
Any of it. I didn't understand any of it. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Like, can I just pitch one version of
Nobody had parents.
Yes.
Not a single character had a parent, even though they all appeared to be children.
Or goals at all.
Or goals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, nobody was
was going to college.
Nope.
Nobody. It was,
Sherilyn Fenn was like, what? Disappear on a bike? Sounds good.
Sounds good. With an angel?
Maybe.
Or a wraith?
Or a
Like,
devil.
Where
It could have been a
are they
devil.
going? Where are they going at the end? Is he taking her to the afterlife?
Yes, and he leaves his brother behind.
Yeah.
To get framed for murder.
We should go and talk to the audience about, because they may be able to help us out a little bit here. I do just want to talk about one other thing before we go out there. That when they do have that like sex scene in like the hot springs, there's like chest bone kissing. Like it's not neck. It's below neck, above nipple. Chest bone.
It's a clavicle smooch.
Yeah, a clavicle smooch. And they are reacting like it's the most erotic thing. Like, oh, kiss my clavicle.
Oh, yeah.
I broke this one down because I got really obsessed with how they were treating the flashbacks to the brutal murder.
Yeah.
And, all right, so she says, you remind me of Jamie. I like you. Flashback to brutal murder.
A brutal murder
On
that
top
they
of
were
her.
present for.
Yes. Yeah.
So they're flashing back to a moment they were both in.
Cut back to them in the creek. Charlie Sheen says, I love you. Then they kiss each other's clavicles. She says, you remind me of Jamie. I like you. Flashback to brutal murder. Flashback, I love you. And she just smiles after he says, I love you. Like,
I mean,
cool.
can you imagine?
She obviously falls in and out of love very quickly.
She's a psychopath. She had someone murdered on top of her and was like, meh. Like,
Can I get on the back of your bike and show you how to get down to the quarry?
sure.
I compartmentalize easily.
He's just taking her to a therapist's office in the sky. You need to talk.
You need to process what you've been through.
Because, like, they're like, to me, the movie, I think the better version of this movie
I mean, I guess
is,
there's a possibility that she is also murdered in that cabin.
here we go.
And that the whole movie It's a Jacob's Ladder scenario? Could be a Jacob's Ladder scenario.
Why?
I buy it. I mean,
Or
anything.
it could be a Jacob's Ladder scenario for Jamie. And he's imagining himself as a
No.
Charlie Sheen character.
He's in purgatory. Like I feel like he's let go, and he's like, I'm dead now, but she's still hanging out in purgatory, and he's got to rescue her from purgatory.
And that makes sense because purgatory is a world in which there are no parents.
Yeah.
And you're just like at the lake, at the creek or the quarry or whatever, and at the burger stand.
And things are decided by car race.
Yeah.
And there's
That's
a scene.
basically Lost.
And there's.
Spoiler alert for
Smoke
Lost.
monster,
They're
burger
in
stand.
purgatory. The TV show Lost. They're in purgatory. Spoiler alert.
They aren't, Jason. I hate to outlost you here. They're not in purgatory until the end of the show.
Sure. Yes.
The whole time they're on the island.
Yep.
So, but wait, wouldn't the stronger movie be the Wraith comes to town, he kills everybody, you don't know who it is, and then in the last scene, the black car pulls up to Sherilyn Fenn's house, he gets out of that costume, she's like, what? You're that guy that I used to date. He's like, yeah, I'm back, I fucking killed everyone who killed me, now get on my bike and let's go. Like, the whole charade of falling back in love.
It should all be flashbacks. We don't need modern day back to life Jamie. We could just have the car driving around, and anytime we want to see like teen romance, it's some flashback to like, oh, remember when we used to go get ice cream together or something like that.
Exactly, because the movie builds to the point where like he shows up in that black outfit and he's like, I'm back to Charlie Sheen, and that should be like, I don't know, more of a moment or something.
Well, by then it's like there is no mystery. You're meant to understand like, oh, he is just both of these characters.
Yeah.
He is both the Charlie Sheen on the bike who's like,
he's three characters.
Because he's Jamie as well?
Yeah.
That's true. Oy.
Charlie Sheen is three characters in this movie.
Wow. That's unsettling. And I loved it.
Let's go out here into the audience and see what they have to say. All right. Let's go to you, sir. Yeah, come on over here. Let's have your name, and then I want to see if you have a better title than the Wraith for this movie. If you don't worry about it. But then I'm putting you on the spot.
My name is Trevor. What the fuck? I guess.
All right, sure. I'll take it. All right.
Well, you mentioned one of the other movies that Mike Marvin directed. He actually had like 4 softcore movies that he did, and he's credited as Jake Casey, Charlie Sheen's character. Like that's the name he used.
Wow.
For those. And so now I'm just wondering, is this like some sort of like I don't know what he's trying to say with that. It's like some Dread Pirate Roberts thing where it's like Jake is like it's a name you could just take for a cause.
Well, he has written 2 sequels, I think, to this movie that are unproduced.
That are unmade? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're unproduced in every way.
So far.
I love that he's like, my name's Mike Marvin, but I'd like to be known professionally as Jake Casey.
Interesting. So he's become his character. That's a good one. All right, great. Thanks so much. All right, instead of coming up with another title, let's do something different. Come up with your name if you were in a gang. So we have Rughead, right? Skank.
Gutter Boy.
Gutter Boy. So come on up here.
Minty.
Yeah, Minty. So here we go.
My name is Zach. Curly hair.
Good. Just stop at curly.
Yeah. They kept mentioning how dangerous the bad guy was, and like you shouldn't talk to the girl, and you shouldn't talk to the girl. And then Charlie Sheen keeps talking to him, never faces any like repercussions, and then the guy sees them making out in front of her house, and he's just gently weeping in his car. It's just his like tears in his eyes, and he's nothing.
Yeah, he should have gotten out of the car there and done something. Maybe he's still being stung from that moment when she said, "I'll never make love to you." Like another shoehorned in exposition line. Like we gotta let the audience know these two have not done it.
Yeah.
This is just a kidnapping. That's a good point. Great. Yes, sir. Your
Kidnap
name
dating.
and your gang name.
Evold. Okay. Gang name Goozer.
Ooh, that's good. I like that.
All right, two things. Did you do this because of Easter? Because it's kind of like he's coming back from
To that, I'll say yes. It was very thought out.
You see the Wraith as a Christ allegory? Wow.
Well, there were 3 stars in the beginning.
This is
Father, Son, Holy Car.
Holy Wraith.
Right. The second thing was Randy Quaid. He was a police lieutenant, but sometimes he'd wear a sports jacket and a shirt. And the same day, back at the police station, he'd be like in a deputy's outfit with a shoulder holster. My girlfriend doesn't think that's weird. I think it's weird.
I hear what you're saying, like, because he dresses like a detective and then he dresses like.
You should dump your girlfriend, man. You guys got to break up over this.
Oh,
no. No, that is. I mean, again, I feel like they were like, oh yeah, when you go to work, the police station, you got to wear your cop clothes. But in real life, you can wear your regular clothes, right? Maybe that, or vice versa.
Paul, I honestly think that they just let everyone pick their own wardrobe for this movie.
Again, strong choices.
Cassavetes came in with like 11 puka shell necklaces. And was like, I'm wearing one of these.
All right, ma'am, your name, your gang name, and your question.
My name is Lisan. My gang name would be The Russian. And my question.
I like it.
Thank you. In the very end of the movie, he says, "Pack lightly. We're not gonna go far." Where are they going? I think. Is he gonna kill her so they can go to heaven or hell together?
I think he has to kill her. There's no doubt it ends in her murder so that they can share the afterlife together, I believe. Yes, I thought that as well.
I think they're just packing that weird boy underwear that he had and her thong that she puts on sideways.
Pack lightly, I forgot that.
Yeah.
Because she wouldn't really need to pack at all. You could argue.
Yeah, but she'd get creeped out if he was like, "Don't pack anything, get on my bike."
The only thing I want to see you in is wings and a halo.
Oh my gosh. All right, sir, your name, your gang name, and your question. I hold the mic.
Oh boy. Oh, he's really getting grabby.
Got to go with the best gang name is from Death Wish 3, Giggler. That's what we got to go with.
Right.
So I rented the fuck out of this movie in 1990 from Fox Video in Montclair, New Jersey. It was never on the shelf because of me. I love the fuck out of it. So if he looks different, why does he wear a mask? If he's invincible, why does he have armor? And if he's dead, why does he have that breathing tube?
All great questions, yeah.
Well, I'll put it back on you as someone who watched this movie constantly. Wow.
Yeah, what have you come up with?
We've only watched it once, dum-dum. You tell us. I watched this movie so much nobody else could watch it. I also fundamentally don't understand how it works. I've learned nothing. I have the most experience and the least information. I'm a certified moron. That's what you sound like.
Anyone, last question. I really want to feel like someone's got something really good. All right, let's see what you got. Come to me. All right. Name, gang name, question.
Channing, my gang name would be Buggy.
Channing Tatum, everybody! Whoop, whoop!
Two things. One, you talked earlier about Charlie Sheen's limited time on screen. We actually timed it, and it's a very generous 12 minutes and 30 seconds.
We?
Yeah.
Who's the we and we actually
me and my
timed
gang.
it? What?
Me and my gang.
Yo, you have a gang?
And My question is, why does he have those scars? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but scarring is something left for the living.
I agree. I thought that was strange.
But why? But even to me, why would he have those scars if it's a different body?
Yeah. He seems to have a different body.
Yeah, it's a totally different body.
I just like this dude and his friends being like, go.
By the way, I'm glad that they timed it because no one else would. And I'm at like 12 minutes and 30. Like this movie is not short. For him to only be in 12 minutes.
It's crazy.
You're not counting Wraith in there, are you?
No. Just Charlie.
Just Charlie.
But I mean, that was him in that suit, so.
Totally. Here is a scene that we've talked about a few times, but I think it's worth hearing it in full. The Wraith, aka Charlie Sheen, appears in front of Sherilyn Finn's house, and this happens. He comes out of his space car in his Wraith costume.
That's how she should have been reacting to everything constantly.
Charlie Sheen kind of like has a crick in his neck.
Can't do that again.
Jake.
You know who I am.
Jamie.
What? How?
It's as close as I could come to who I once was.
It's close enough.
Just think of this as a second chance. We were meant to be together, Carrie.
All right, so that's that. That like she's a fucking genius that she figured that out.
But also, she fucked him without knowing that it was him at the beginning. So it's like, oh, Jamie, my ex. Ooh, I kind of had sex with the guy that I thought was someone else. Glad it's you, though.
And then this is how his brother, this is just, again, the brother scene. These scenes are, I think, so worth it. Here we go. All right, here. Okay.
Well, it's time for me to hit the road. My business here is finished. Before I do, I want you to have something. She's yours now. Who's mine? It's outside. Turbo Interceptor.
By the way, I want to pause this for a second.
It's a key.
He gave him a key. He goes, who's mine?
She's
the woman
yours.
that you start with this key.
She's yours. Who? Wait. It's definitely for a car.
Yeah.
The fact that he's confused about that makes me not believe that he gets the Jake Jamie thing at all.
I think he's just yelling random names. But Charlie Sheen's performance, like he is so checked out in this scene. It's like he just does not care about a single word he's saying.
Brother.
Yeah.
You know, and he feels nothing. There appears to be no connection.
He's just like counting down. He's like, I got a flight to catch to Vietnam.
Yep.
They shoot all my 12 minutes in a day. Here we go. All right, so it continues.
Only one in existence. Does very special things. Take care of it, will you?
What?
Who are you, bro? You said it, Billy. I gotta go. Man, wait a minute. Where you going? Where you going? Hey, Billy! The instructions are in the glove compartment!
The instructions for a car?
Yes.
Come back!
For a murder car.
Come back, bro! Whoa!
Where do you put the
Far
key?
out.
Here we go, the moment that we're all waiting for.
Hey, Jake, who are you?
Oh. Oh.
Jake! Jake!
I will never know.
I gotta point out earlier in that scene, before he says the bro thing, and Billy kind of figures it out. He's ready to leave.
Yeah.
He's walking out the door, and then Billy has to say something, and then Charlie Sheen stops and comes back, and then the bro thing happens. He's ready to walk away from this guy without ever. Also, he's alive again, going to fuck his girlfriend. They're gonna see each other, right?
No, he's gonna murder his girlfriend and take her to heaven. Which means at this point he's got nothing to lose. You're a Wraith. Just be like, this is gonna blow your mind, dude. I'm your brother. Bye, and then you get on your bike.
I agree.
Thank you. Why don't we rate these?
All right, so let's hear these lines.
Oh man, my favorite Randy Quaid one. When he goes to visit Skank and Gutter Boy. First off, the guy, he asks about the workers, Skank's uncle, and his uncle says, "My nephew Skank and his pal Gutter Boy."
I wrote that as well.
Pretty great line.
Because I love that the uncle calls him Skank. Not what's his name, Maurice? What's his name?
Maurice, yeah.
Oh, I thought Skank was his given name.
And then Randy Quaid comes up to him. He starts a little bit of chit chatter, and then he says, "You listen to me, Skank. I can't call you Skank, right?"
Please, Skank is my father.
I mean, oh God. Skank has a great line later when he's trying to shoot when they're in the cemetery. Oh, we didn't talk about this.
Oh yeah.
The gravestone.
Pacific grave. He desecrates at least a half dozen graves in this cemetery.
To get to the good one.
Yeah. Which got his name on it, which he doesn't realize until after he's probably been staring at it for like 2 minutes.
And isn't that when he goes back to the chop shop and then he is unafraid of being killed after he's seen his own death?
Yes.
That's how it works.
Because he's being directed by someone else in this movie. But then Skank pulls out that shotgun and he tries to shoot, the Wraith, and he says, "Eat lead, crud sucker." Which is the shortest possible way to tell someone that they can suck on your crud. The crud sucker.
Wait, does he say eat lead? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And then the gun doesn't work, and he's like, he's not human. He's making the gun do something, and it really made me insane that Packard doesn't take the Wraith seriously ever.
Yeah.
Like, the Wraith is clearly a supernatural being.
Killing everyone in his gang.
And Packard is never impressed.
You think it drove you crazy. Clint Howard was nuts about it.
Yep, that's true.
When Clint Howard says it's a Wraith, the two guys, Skank and Gutterball, seem like they understand, like they're like, yeah. Like, but I feel like I'm first of all surprised that Clint Howard knows what a Wraith is, and I feel like these guys, like, no one seems like there's nothing. This Wraith is showing himself as a Wraith at all points. Like, oh yeah, that's why he disappears. That's why all of our friends have died. That's why the eyes have disappeared. Like, no one takes anything.
People see him turn into balls of light. Like, the police are chasing him, and he's like, and they're all just kind of like,
Maybe that's what happens there a lot.
What is the movie where everyone is on like acid, like, and they all don't say anything because they're afraid that they're not really seeing what's actually happening.
It's all
like they're just all side-eyeing each other, like, did you? Was that just?
That's why Cassavetes is crying in the car. Everyone's on their own fucking weird trip the entire movie.
He's coming down from it. He's just got a huge glass of orange juice. Oh. He's got a great line, and this also goes back to him being in a completely different movie. When Randy Quaid busts up his weird foreplay with that blonde girl at his sex lair, on his way
behind the beaded curtain.
Did you notice that in the sex lair, before you get into the sex room, there's a painting of two skeletons having sex?
Were you like, oh my God, that's my house?
Yeah. I was like, cool, that's cool. I'm going to rip that off.
Right as he's about to leave, so Quaid is like, tells him he's gonna, take him down to the police station with no irony and kind of putting on a lisp. Cassavetes says, "See you in the squad car." That I went back and watched that like 5 times. I couldn't believe it. That was the craziest choice he made. And he chose
a movie full of crazy choices.
Yeah. And what is he even alluding to? Like, is that like? Is that like? I mean, obviously, like, he's like making some sort of like gay joke, but like, is that in the car? Like in the...
I don't know. I mean, Quaid is going to take him down to police station, so he's basically saying, like, yes, I'm cooperating, and I assume that you're driving, so I'll see you in the squad car. But he says it like that.
Yeah.
See you in the squad car.
And then Randy Quaid says to the girl, "Are you okay?"
And she's like, for sure, no, look where I am.
Yeah.
Of course not.
I'm living my best life.
She was my big hope for this maybe passing the Bechdel test, and just didn't.
No, but he threw her shirt.
Yeah, but she didn't get to have a conversation with Sherilyn Fenn where they talked about something besides the Wraith. That was no, nobody. Okay, whatever.
No, it's true. Even though they worked together at the burger joint, they never talked about anything that wasn't the Wraith.
Well, obviously we had an opinion about this movie, but there are other people out there with a different opinion. It is now time for second opinions.
The movie was a piece of shit, yet this person recommends it. Tell me, what is the message? Maybe that art is subjective. I need a second opinion.
These are weird. I'm gonna get off the bat and just say these 5-star reviews from Amazon are pretty weird. Let's just start here. This is the one that from Chris Z, written in 2016. From the days when movies had story and meaning, 5 stars.
Oh, wow.
Then from Jeffrey
I'd be curious to hear what he thinks
Yeah.
is the story and meaning of this movie.
Like, how did he connect with it?
This is from Jeffrey Flint, written in 2014. It makes you wonder what people in real life would do for revenge of a lost love in life. I want to be able to do that if I died. 5 stars.
Nope. Yeah, yikes.
This one, I can't quite figure out how it got in here, but you'll see why. Title of this review is called Works Great by Angela Sherwood. This is a great item to have to let you know if the dishes are clean or dirty. I think we all make the mistake of going inside the dishwasher sometimes when it's dirty and grabbing a dirty dish. So I love this magnet. It's very sturdy and it works great.
Meanwhile, that magnet has a review of the Wraith underneath it.
This magnet doesn't make any sense at all.
Let me get it straight with this magnet. All right, so the magnet's just trying to get eyes out of people?
The magnet is both a car and a motorcycle. And also Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen's barely on this magnet. This is from R. Yusko, 2009. I have this movie on VHS since it first came out, and I had a couple of friends come over, and we decided we wanted to watch The Wraith. I said, that sounds like a plan. Being we hadn't seen it in a long time. I put the tape in, cracked open my beer, MGD, of course. We started to watch the movie. We got halfway through it, and the VCR decided to start crinkling the tape to a point that it snapped, stretched out, and broke the tape. I was furious. I have always cleaned the tape path of my VCR, and not just by sticking a tape cleaner and calling it done. No way. To cover off, I cleaned the entire path, and I stuck new bands on it as well. That's how it lasted me since The Wraith came out. That's why now I see when it was on DVD, I knew I had to have it. And I didn't care how much it cost, I wanted it. I give this movie 10,000 stars if you're able to. Amazon! They have everything here. I'll never shop anywhere else except right here. Amazon.com! The Wraith. Buy this movie before it's gone. It's already out of print. Excellent movie, 5 stars.
But we know he'd prefer to give it 10,000.
Which is not
That's amazing.
a realistic rating.
That was written by Clint Howard.
There's.
I'm going to read this one. It's not as funny as that last one, but I think it will be interesting to hear. It was written by D.A. Hanks. The Wraith is a modern remake of the Clint Eastwood classic High Plains Drifter. In The Wraith, Eastwood is replaced by Sheen, and the horse by a fantastically futuristic car, the Dodge PBG Industries Pace Car, a.k.a. the Turbo Interceptor. Jamie Hankins is dating Carrie Johnson, the leader of the notorious road racing gang that claimed Carrie for himself. However, and decides to eliminate the competition, Jamie is brutally murdered and his body set ablaze in a fiery car crash. Now, Jamie was no good guy in life. And upon his arrival in hell, he makes a pact with the devil to exchange the souls of every gang member responsible for his death in exchange for his own soul's release. Jamie returns to Earth as Jake, the driver of the hottest car ever built. One by one, he eggs members of the gang into races where he emerges victorious, and the loser ends up dead, his eyes missing. This is a sure sign that they have been sent back to hell. Each time a gang member is killed, a mysterious brace disappears. Once the last member is dead, the final brace is gone, and Jamie is set free. This is one of my favorite movies. And I was privileged to work with David Sherrill recently, who played Skank in the movie. A lot of these guys were nobodies when it came out, but they have gone on to much bigger and better things. An awesome movie with a killer's 80s soundtrack. 5 stars. Now, that's interesting because what he describes there makes sense.
It's a much better movie.
Like, it's not the movie, though, right? Yeah.
No. I mean, it might have been at one point. That might have been scripted. But yeah, he's added quite a few scenes. Also, I love that in this review, he name drops. Like,
Oh, yeah. David Sherrill, yeah.
Yeah.
Skank. I worked with Skank.
By the way, why couldn't Charlie Sheen, like, just say, I made a deal with the devil? Like, that would have been great.
That's like an extra 30 seconds. He's got to get to Vietnam.
Charlie, can we do take 2? No. All right, moving on.
Billy, get in here. You know, my brother my brother was not a great guy before he died. My hope is that right now he's making a deal with the devil to come back and get revenge on whoever killed him. Burgers up! What? Mr. McGuire wants a soda. All right, hold on a second. Anyway, so he'll come back, but he'll have, let's say 4 people killed him, right? He'll have 4 different braces on his body. Right?
That's the devil keeping him in check so he doesn't escape and run away. But his other body doesn't have any braces on it. Because, like, that would have been great if his other body was confined to like a wheelchair or something like that. Like, and he could have gotten up and then like free. Because he seemed to roam with no problem. Guys,
I'm just thinking of Charlie Sheen in a wheelchair doing all the things now in the movie.
Floating down a river in a
And Cassavetes still being like, who's this prick?
He's a dork, man. This town's full of dorks.
It's Quiff City, man. Quiff City.
By the way, just one fun fact that you really can't tell from this movie. It was shot in January, so the water was absolutely freezing in every one of those scenes. So it just gives you just a
Which
little...
is why he's like, it actually warms up if you get in here.
Sounds like improv.
Yeah.
Well,
yes, and
I mean, I think we've uncovered as much as we can uncover with the Wraith. Tim, want to tell us about what you got to plug? Your show, your brand new show on CISO. Very funny show.
Yeah, it's called Shrink. It took us 5 years to make it. Woo! Woo! It's been out about a month, and it's on CISO, along with Bajillion Dollar Properties, of which 2 seasons are on, and the 3rd season is coming out June 1st.
And you can...
Some Bajill heads out there.
A lot of Bajill heads here. We most of our audience is 1/4 Bajill heads. And just tell us about Shrink, just what it's about.
Sure. Shrink follows the story of David Tracy, who graduates from medical school. He's $500,000 in debt. He doesn't get into a university hospital. Doctors have to go through a matching program. So he decides to default because of his debt into clinical therapy. And when you do that, you have to register 2,000 hours of supervised clinical therapy, but you can't charge anyone. So he sets out getting Craigslist patients to come into his parents' garage because he's had to move back home because of the debt. And they are doing free sessions with them while he is getting supervised from a therapist downtown. So it's the story of him over the course of 8 episodes kind of struggling to get better at his plan B because he's deferring this $500,000 in debt in his life.
Awesome. So Shrink on CISO. Tell us what you have coming up right now.
I just finished working on a show called Drop the Mic. That won't be coming out until September, though.
But that's what we can get excited for.
You
Drop
can get
the Mic
excited about it.
Is based on the bit that you guys do on Corden, where like you have these like rap battles,
yes, yeah, the rap battles on Corden, and now it's all celebrities doing rap battles. So it's hosted by Method Man. That's neat.
I love it.
Yeah, and I also have my own podcast called Angry Little Goats. And it's fun.
What's Angry Little Goats about?
It's me and another comedian, Will Weldon, just discussing current events and having a lot of digressions and that kind of thing.
Excited about that.
Yeah, you know.
Jason?
I got nothing.
Nothing, like, just, anything you've read, anything you want to tell people about?
My friend John has a great new record out under the name Man Forever.
Okay.
If people want to check that out, it's an amazing kind of drums percussion record that I've been listening to that I like a lot. I don't know. Oh, S-Town I thought was fantastic.
I really enjoyed S-Town.
That was great.
I just finally read Ready Player One, and I thought that was really great, so that's my plug for this week.
Not bad.
It's a really fun book. Did you read it?
No.
No, it's really good. Don't sleep on it. It's really good.
Planet Earth 2. Loved it. Are we just talking about things we like?
Yeah. Just kind of
pizza.
Big Little Lies. No.
Well, you can follow us as always on Facebook and Twitter. A big thank you to Nate Kiley for doing our research, and for Avril for putting together all these amazing video clips that she puts together. And especially, I'm so happy that we have that Rebel Without a Clause mashup there. It's so good. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you to July up in the booth. Thank you everybody here at Largo. Good night. Bye-bye.
This has been an Earwolf production, executive produced by Scott Aukerman, Chris Bannon, and Colin Anderson. For more information and content, visit earwolf.com.